It's Monday. You know what that means. Time to kick off your week the right way with the only place giving you your sports coverage how you want it when you need it. The Flex Zone Podcast, episode 434, giving you more as we talk about the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania 40 from Philadelphia is this weekend. We'll be previewing it, giving our predictions and discussions as we have a very special guest back on the Flex Zone Podcast, one of our day one affiliates, friends, and part of the Flex Zone family. We're going to recap the NCAA tournament games, look ahead to the Final Four men's and women's. We're going to talk some NFL draft. We're going to talk NBA playoff push, MLB Opening Day Recap, and Goofies with Cravante. It's the Flex Zone Podcast, episode 434, giving you more. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell. Episode 434 coming your way right now. Dropping more buckets than Caitlin Clark as we're pulling up from 30. It's the Flex Zone Podcast. Only place fellas giving you sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Throw up your ones and acknowledge us as we hit in the WrestleMania weekend. Flex Zone Podcast. The final bosses of the podcast game, much like The Rock. It is the only place giving you sports how you want to when you need. Episode 434, recapping the NCAA tournament, men's and women's, looking ahead to the Final Four with a big sports weekend. We got the Final Four this weekend. We got WrestleMania this weekend. Of course, we got to talk about Opening Day Recap, get the thoughts on that, get some recap, and look ahead as the playoff push for the NBA continues, as well as looking at those goofies with Cravante and some recent NFL news and rumors and innuendo as we head towards the NFL draft. God's favorite host here, host with the most, at the Flex Zone 1, Twitter, Instagram, and the Flex Zone Podcast on TikTok. You can donate, which you'll see on your screen momentarily at the Flex Zone 1 on Cash App. It's not just about me, it's about the team. It is the one, the only, my boy, our social media producer, the guy who always is bringing the meat, much like Arby's. It's my boy, Big Raj. Unfortunately, March Meat Madness is over, but April is here. And as always, as we hit into WrestleMania, you'll be in Philly, and you'll be doing a lot of this.
No bread, no water, just hate.
Finish him, Daddy.
Exactly. Do a lot of that this coming weekend. Can't wait to get down there in Philly. Maybe get a Philly cheesesteak. You know how it goes, but this is
I got some spots for you, brother.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. But we're gonna save that until Saturday. But we can't wait to talk to our good guest Ralph. I'm pretty sure he has some great odds of what's gonna happen this weekend, and maybe he has some spots too that I can check out.
This next brother is the voice of reason, the captain of the Goofy Ship, the co-patriarch along with Dre, the Flex Zone Podcast. He is the Commandalorian himself. He is Mr. Goofy 365. He's calling him out. It is my boy, my brother, the one and only, Cravante Bebe. And the question is, will you be watching WrestleMania, or would you rather hear your favorite song?
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Commanders. We fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders.
Y'all done?
No running back one more time, baby.
No running back.
Jesus Christ. Man, I ain't messing with y'all, man. Let's get this show started. Y'all already know what it is. Monday night. Let's do it. Let's not keep our good brother waiting much longer.
Well, now that's goofy.
Last but not least, he is the tribal chief of the Flex Zone Podcast, the pride of the East Side, the savior of misbehavior, Mr. Boston High University, the dean of Morgan State University, Mr. HBCU himself, Mr. 25-8. And he is my boy, my brother, the one who will be walking through those doors in Philly, the city of brotherly love, his second home, to make sure that Philly acknowledges the tribal chief himself and acknowledges the Flex Zone podcast. It's the one, the only, Drizzy Dre.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, man, I can't wait, man. WrestleMania in Philly, my second home, as you said. I got a couple cheesesteak spots, like I told Unc, if he wants to check them out. I'm just excited, man, to acknowledge the tribal chief himself and see him retain and still be the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. But, you know, there's no better person to tell us whether or not that's going to happen than I already see him in the back shaking his head no.
Well, real quick, Dre. We did tell him last year that Roman was going to keep that belt. We were right last year. We did,
Yes.
but this year it's a little different.
So, look, this is my man's. He's always very helpful and always excited to have him on. So,
Yes,
Byron, usually the one for introduction, but yeah, I'm excited about this.
Nothing but illustrious guest. This man's probably been on the show as much as anybody, Dre. You can attest to it. He is one of our original family members of the Flex Zone. He supported us, as we mentioned, since day one. He's always given us advice, a listening ear, just great content, great interviews, and just always bringing those odds from anything from sports to television shows, all of that and much more. We can't give this man enough superlatives. From Vegas, running the odds. You better listen to this man before you listen to anybody else. He's going to break it down for you, and he's back on the Flex Zone. The one, the only, our brother, Rafael Esperanza. Ralph, what's going on? How you doing?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Wow, episode 434. That's soccer talk for you guys. That's pretty impressive. I was just reading. I'm like, wow. I think I remember listening to you guys' first episode. So that's pretty impressive. I have nothing but honor bringing that coming back on your guys' show. I listen to you guys' show as much as I can because you guys know I do a lot of shows. So I try to catch some. You guys are on my list. So thanks for having me.
Let's get straight to it,
Thank you as
Ralph.
always.
Yes, Ralph, thank you. As I watched the end of Raw, they got everybody in the ring fighting. How can the people keep up with you? And as you finish that, let's go right into WrestleMania. What should the people expect this week and any surprises? Is Roman going to retain? Is Cody going to finish the story? What's going to happen in the tag match? Give us the lowdown.
It's a big lowdown for me. You can find me on Twitter at VSI.Sports, Instagram, Rafael Esparza. You can find me 4 days a week on Jonathan Coachman. You guys know the coach, Jonathan Coachman's show. I do his show 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. I'll be doing his wrestling podcast after WrestleMania. You can catch me on that as well. So it's just been a fun times, but no, the one is not going to be sticking up after Sunday. I think we're going to be very interesting. I think the $1 million question people have been asking me is, what kind of surprises are we going to see? I mean, I think there's only one big surprise name we could see come out, and that'd be Brock Lesnar. I mean, why would you bring any other surprise out when you have The Rock? Not 1, but 2 days. So there's no other big surprise out there. I think the only thing we'll see is maybe Brock Lesnar. He's been cleared on all the Vince McMahon allegations that I know of as of right now. So I think that'd be the only one. No, MJF is not going to be there. No stuff like that. But we learned a lot of interesting stuff today. If you saw CM Punk's interview today on MMA Hour, if you saw Sasha Banks, aka whatever her new name is, on that her contract is very, very short in AEW, and she said she talked about other contracts that are up in a WWE, aka Becky Lynch. That's why you see probably Becky Lynch going down on WrestleMania. Yeah, I don't see her winning because I think they're going to keep that storyline. Will she sign? Will she not sign? Her contract's up in 2 months and stuff like that. So it should be very, very interesting. But I'm excited. 2-day show, Rock on 2 days, heel 1 day, probably babyface the other.
Well, you said that WWE knew her as Sasha Banks. Now she's Mercedes Moné. that would have really been cool if she could have came back for this WrestleMania to help out Bayley. How short is her contract with AEW?
I heard it's only like June or July. I mean, it's not that long of a contract. And let's face it, CM Punk said it today that the business plan that they have over at AEW is not the same business plan you see at TNA, WWE, and stuff like that. So you see, I think that's why you see a lot of disgruntled wrestlers that are coming out and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, they're getting the for sure money, but they're not getting the crowds. They're not getting the love that you get from a well-oiled machine. I'm not saying TNA is a well-oiled machine, but they know how to treat their athletes, their wrestlers, or stuff like that, the people in the back and all that. So I think we could probably see, I don't want to say an exodus, but other people probably jump and ship. I think Sasha ends up at WWE, just like we saw CM Punk and other ones. That's her love. I know she was one of those ones that wasn't a big fan of Vince McMahon and his antics out there. I think that's why Naomi came back. Because if Vince McMahon was back there, Naomi would still be in TNA. She said that multiple times. She wanted nothing to do with that regime and stuff like that. That's why I think we'll see Sasha and Monet, whatever she wants to call her. I want to see her in Star Wars before I see her back in WWE, but that's another story. But I think we see her back, I would think, in a couple of years.
Do you think that Ricky Starks might show up this weekend? I heard there's an AEW guy that might be showing up. I think that might be him.
It could be him. I heard his name, but like I said, if you're going to roll the dice on The Rock being there 2 days, do you really want to trump that momentum of heel one day babyface and Cody Rhodes being a champ? I think if that's the case, that's how the storyline's going to go, why would you trump that storyline on Sunday? Unless you bring him on a Saturday before the tag team match, which I don't see that happening. I mean, I think the briefcase gets exchanged. That's why I think Drew McIntyre wins, then he loses it. But I just don't see Starks coming in if he comes in on Saturday, no way on Sunday.
Now, do you think what's the odds on Drew McIntyre going back to the old Broken Dreams theme?
It's interesting. He's -$6 to win the match, and I think we all can understand if there's two people that need breaks. Seth Rollins is one of them. We all know his back is jacked, his knee is jacked. They're probably going to use that storyline of AKA taking a break, AKA holding out because Becky Lynch doesn't have a contract extension. So I think he takes maybe not a long break, but a nice rested break. But I think there's two wrestlers I think they're going to get, hey, thank you for all the hard work you did during the pandemic. That's Drew McIntyre and that's Bayley. I think Bayley pretty much ran WWE during the pandemic. She was on every show. She was a fantastic heel until she blew her knee. I think Triple H, or what CM Punk calls him, Paul now. I think Paul rewards them today on this weekend, gives them belts. Now, how quickly Drew holds the belt, that's another story.
All right, and what are the odds that The Rock turns on Roman this weekend?
Oh, it's got to be 100%. I think they win the tag match. That's why they're favorites on Saturday, -$6 to win the tag match between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And then Sunday, there's no way The Rock is going to say you're the head of the table for how many months. There's no way. That's why the thumb was out when he points up in the air. This does not happen. I think The Rock turns on Roman Reigns. And it sets it up because The Rock says, hey, now that he's going to, I don't want to say have more time for WWE, but I think we see that match. I think we end up eventually seeing that. I don't know if it's going to be SummerSlam or I don't think, but we do see that match between Roman and The Rock, because I think Roman's taking. I think he has a TV movie deal or something coming up that he's probably going to be off for a while.
I know he has to. I think he has a Fast and Furious film that he has
a movie.
Yeah, part of Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
he has a movie, but they're saying he could be back for SummerSlam to possibly face Cody.
Yeah, I think the Cody rematch is up for SummerSlam. That's why I don't think we see The Rock and SummerSlam. I think The Rock has something to do during SummerSlam as well, because I think he has a couple movies he's got to finish up and stuff. So I would think if you're in Dave and UFC and WWE and all that, you would want The Rock and Roman for next year's WrestleMania.
Do we get Stone Cold and John Cena at this WrestleMania?
Maybe Cena shows up. I don't know about Stone Cold showing up. I mean, he has really nothing to do in Philly. I think Cena, just because he still gets that huge pop. I'm not saying Stone Cold doesn't get a big pop, but if there's anyone, like I know Hogan signing autographs somewhere close to the arena. Is he gonna like introduce the first match or something? That wouldn't shock me or stuff like that. But I'm more curious of who's gonna play into a role into WrestleMania. I don't want just someone to come on stage and say, hey, "Welcome everyone to Philadelphia." I want some backstage interference, or I want some ring interference. I just don't want someone to just wave hands and kiss babies. I'd rather see Bryce Harper come off a baseball bat if that's going to be the case.
Well, Ralph, let's transition. Go ahead, Dre. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to tell Ralph. So, my prediction is that Seth actually turns on Cody and he doesn't finish the story. That's my surprise prediction.
I can see that, but I think a lot of people are tired of the story. I mean, let's just end the story. I mean, so that's why I think Cody gets the belt, because I don't see the reason why Seth would do that if he's going to take some time off as well. I just think Cody, because I think Gunter down the road is going to lose the belt to Chad Gable, and then Gunter's going to probably move up into that heavyweight position and stuff like that. I see Drew battling with CM Punk if he has the belt or close to having a belt. We're going to see that storyline, because CM Punk he said he was able to do some type of match at WrestleMania, but the execs said no, we're not going to rush you and stuff like that. He said he was ready to go if he wanted to have a match for WrestleMania. He said he's like way ahead of his rehab, but they're the ones that said no, you can't have it, stuff like that. So I see Drew and CM Punk, and even when Seth Rollins come back, I see Seth Rollins and CM Punk. I see them three battling it off for the World Heavyweight Belt.
Yeah, my prediction was that Cody would actually pin Roman night 1, and then night 2, something screwy would happen where he didn't finish the story.
I mean, I could see that, but I still think Sunday Cody, Monday's Raw. I think Cody has the belt.
Is there
Ralph,
not more money in him not finishing the story? Or is there more money in him actually finishing the story?
You got to think about it. I mean, the way Triple H and the people back there, they pretty much are doing what the crowd wants to do. I mean, The Rock said it. The crowd is the reason why The Rock turned heel. It wasn't that, hey, I have an idea, I want to turn heel. The WWE universe was mad at The Rock taking the story and stuff like that. And I think the crowd is mad at that Seth Rollins has not finished his story last year. I think the crowd was really upset that he didn't win last year. So I just don't see the WWE universe getting screwed twice, especially the way Cody's gotten the big plug right now.
So if Cody wins, how long does he keep the belt?
That's interesting. Like I said, I think there's some stars that are moving up. Like I said, I think Gunter moves up. I think Drew McIntyre is going to be in the mix. I think when CM Punk comes back, he's going to be in the mix. Then we have the draft pretty much almost around the corner, so we can see things moving around and that aspect as well. So it's going to be interesting. Keep an eye out for Jey Uso. He could be up and rising. He's going to beat his brother and stuff like that. He gets a big crowd pop. So it'd be something interesting to see how that goes as well. Bobby Lashley, he's out there. That's good to get up a huge pop probably sometime. I heard he could probably go down to SmackDown and get a huge pop on there and kind of redo himself. Not saying breaking away with the Street Profits, but boost him back up to singles.
Go ahead, Byron.
Oh no, Ralph, we were gonna transition to baseball. Just started this past week. How do you see the season playing out, and what do you think about the whole Ohtani situation? I know you're out there in Vegas and you hear all the rumblings about people taking money out his account, and he didn't know, and then the translator just is the fall guy. I don't know.
First of all, the illegal bookmaker in Southern California, Matthew Boyer, which used to be one of my big clients when I was over at New York and MGM, kicked him out. I think he was barred out of pretty much almost every casino in Las Vegas as I was checking out of the sportsbook industry in Vegas. So I know that guy well. I don't like to say bad things about people on the air, but he wasn't the biggest fan of mine. We'll put it that way. Now, the Ohtani situation, do I think he had nothing to do with it? Yes. You just have to think about this guy. Ohtani is making 80 to 90 million just in Japan money, just as endorsements over here. That's not talking about the money he's making here that the Dodgers are still getting him. So if you're making that much money, I can guarantee you 3, 4, 5 people have his account numbers, his passwords, and stuff like that. So that does not shock me that someone did all that. Did he have any idea? I think he had some. Did he place any bets? If he did, it was probably soccer. I don't think Ohtani bet baseball because Japan has a very, very strict no baseball betting rule, probably stricter than I think here in the States. So I don't see him doing that. Now, did he maybe flirt with NFL? Japanese and Asian bettors don't really like the NFL. If you look at their betting list, Japan and Asian bettors love soccer. They love NBA. It's between NBA and soccer that they love the most, and maybe baseball. Football and stuff like that is probably on the bottom of the list. They probably bet more cricket than they do football. So I don't think he had that much influence on it. Like I said, it would not shock me if he didn't, because I can guarantee you, I used to hang around with a lot of rich people when I was in the casinos, and I can guarantee you their assistants, their stuff like that, they had their passwords, they had their social security numbers, they had their PIN numbers and stuff like that. So it does not shock me that this guy has more than 4 people or 5 people that have his social security. A perfect example, when you watch Iron Man what's Tony Stark's assistant's name? The redhead
Pepper
girl.
Potts.
She asked Tony, "What's your social security number?" And he didn't know it. I can guarantee you, rich people like that are exactly like that. So that doesn't shock me. And 4.5 million is nothing to Ohtani. Like I said, he's making 80 to 90 million just on Japan endorsements. That's not even talking about the endorsements he's getting here in the States.
Wow, so that's why he could defer all that money down the road.
And another reason why he said no, he had to say no. I didn't have any idea about the bets, because you can't bet in California. It's illegal to bet with an illegal bookmaker. So if he said, yes, I knew he was betting soccer or I was betting soccer, then he has more charges that Major League Baseball wouldn't be able to save him. So he had to say, no, I didn't know. Because now if he did this in Vegas, if he was, let's say, on the Las Vegas A's or another, I can't think of another team. Not the Atlanta Braves. There's no betting in Atlanta. Anywhere they legalize sports gambling. Let's say if he was in Vegas, he played for the A's, and that happened. Then he can say, "Oh yeah, I knew he was betting soccer. We would go over to MGM and he would place the bet, but whatever." And he would get in trouble, but not as much Fed trouble. If he would have said, "Yes, I knew," then the feds and FBI, IRS, and all that be like, "Really? You can't bet here in California." So he had to say, "No, I had no idea."
What is your over and under on wins for the Orioles? Do you think they get over 100 wins like they did last year, or is it a little bit under?
I think they can. I think the division is going to be between the Yankees and Orioles. I think the Blue Jays are going to be huge sellers in the trade deadline. I don't think they're going to be as good as we've seen them. I think the Rays will probably fight for third, and I don't see them being big sellers or big buyers. I mean, in the trade deadline, it's going to be between Orioles and Yankees. And let's face it, if you're the Orioles, you just need to figure out how the Yankees are going to continue to pitch. Because I think Cole's going to be probably out closer to the All-Star break. I'm shocked that they didn't land Blake Snell or Montgomery, especially when what's his name went out for a while. So if you're the Orioles, the Orioles are going to be buyers. I mean, the last 3 years they've done really, really well during the trade deadline, either picking up bullpen arms or a bat for the bench. I like them. There's big win today, coming off blew a lead and a big win comeback, win 6-4. I like the Baltimore Orioles this year. They're one of my teams. Now I hate to say this, but my World Series prediction is a long shot. I swung for the fences this year. I like the Seattle Mariners to win the World Series. Give me that 21-1 odds for the Seattle Mariners.
You said the Mariners.
I said the Mariners. I didn't say the Dodgers. I didn't say the Yankees. I didn't say the Orioles. Yes, I said the M's.
Do we finally get that Yankees-Dodgers World Series matchup?
No, I don't think the Dodgers can stay. Or, I'm sorry, I don't think the Yankees can stay healthy. I think the Dodgers will probably pick up an arm during trade deadline. I mean, it's their 1-2-3 punch is I mean, Ohtani really doesn't need to hit homers. If Mookie Betts hits leadoff homers every game, who cares if Ohtani doesn't hit homers? Get on base, hit for 300, get some RBIs in. You don't need him to hit homers because you got Mookie that's on points already. That Dodger lineup is just too potent.
It is nice, but I mean the Yankees lineup now that we have Juan. How do you feel like Juan will do right now with the Yankees this season?
It's all going to depends if their talks during the season are positive on re-signing him. If that's going to be in the back burner where he might want to go somewhere else, or they're going to sign him, then I think that lures in the locker room and stuff like that. I think that's going to be the big issue. But it's all about the Yankees pitching. I mean, and DJ Lemieux's out, so they already got some injuries on that. The Yankees' health is always the biggest question mark. They're like the New Orleans Pelicans in the NBA. Yeah, they look good on paper, but how healthy can they be?
Yeah, I'm Stanton. Don't even get me started on all that, man. I gotta ask about Cravante's team, the Nats. How do you feel with their rebuilding process?
You've been better off asking about the Commanders.
Ouch.
You can transition to them after, Ralph, if you like, since we're in DC.
If I had to buy stock, I would buy more stock in the Commanders, aka new team name coming soon, than Nats. I think the Nationals are going to take a little bit longer. I think Washington, with the new ownership that the Commanders have, I think it'd be a quicker change. Because face it, the Cowboys are not going to be high in the mountain in a couple of years. I think their payroll is going to finally bite them in the butt. The Eagles are probably going to be their payroll is going to be biting them in the butt in a couple of years. Really, and the Giants are the Giants. So I think Washington. I would buy their stock before I buy national stock. No offense.
I would too. It's no offense at all. But before we transition to I guess football would be next, but I want to stay with baseball. I am one of the bets I like to do is the Nerfy bets. What are some things that I need to look out for, and those that are watching who like to bet baseball Nerfies and all they call it the sucker bet. What are some things that I need to look out for when trying to bet and make a profit off of Nerfies?
I think the big favorites, of course, are going to be the Dodgers. You're going to see big numbers on the Braves and Yankees and stuff like that. Perfect example, the Braves played the Chicago White Sox today on the road, and they were minus $3 favorites. So that means if Atlanta was at home, we could have probably seen them minus 450. I think the Braves and Dodgers, their lineup they could have, we can see minus 2.5 run lines on their games. So, I mean, because we got some bad teams. I think Miami could be a bad team. The White Sox could be a bad team. I thought the Pirates were going to be a bad team, but they're 5-0 right now. So what do I know? But we could see some very bad baseball on it. So I would say keep an eye out for pitching and weather. I think weather could be very interesting this year. I do a lot of weather odds, so I've been doing some stuff for hurricanes and stuff like that the last couple of months. I think we're going to see a lot of rain up in the Midwest and the East this year, so we can see a lot of weird wind trends and stuff like that. So I would say make sure you look out for wind direction on outside stadiums and weather reports throughout, especially through the month of June, July, and probably the first week of August.
Here it is.
Go ahead and transition to that Commanders team. I know you want to, Cravante.
Listen,
I know
man.
you want to.
Listen, hey man, y'all brought it up. He said buy stock in the Commanders over the Nats, and I absolutely agree. With all the great moves that's going on, everything looks really solid. But please, Ralph, tell me that this JJ McCarthy thing ain't real. Please tell me it's just a rumor. Please,
it's real. I mean, he had a really good workout. I mean, JJ Daniels had an okay workout. I heard. I think people were more impressed with his speed and his physicality than his arm. JT Daniels, McCarthy. People say his leadership in the huddle, how he is bar none probably the best out of all the quarterbacks and all that. So I mean, he ran pretty much a pro system at Michigan. You got the Tom Brady Michigan part of it as well. That doesn't help either. Uh, I don't think he goes that high. I think he's fourth or fifth quarterback. I don't think he's 1, 2, and 3. I still think it's Caleb. Toss up between JT and May, and then I think it's JJ. I think he goes ahead of Michael Penix. I've heard people love Mike. I think out of all the quarterbacks that people have told me that they talked to, they say Michael Penix has probably the best attitude, the best interview. He's so friendly, he's so nice, but I think those knees scare everyone away. Which I mean, it's hard. I mean, if you saw that his first knee blowout in Indiana, it was pretty bad. So I understand the fear of that one.
Hopefully he
Question.
continues to fall for the Ravens so we can get some trade more picks.
Well, I got a question for you. How do you think that this NFL draft is going to pan out? Do you think it's going to be most of the quarterbacks gone in the first round? Do you think it's going to be a lot of offensive tackles going early? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I think offensive tackles and wide receivers are going to be what we're going to talk about in the next couple of years. I'm not sold at Caleb Williams because I'm a big believer. If I want to know how the quarterback is, I'm talking to offensive lineman. I'm talking to offensive lineman coach. And no one had any good things at USC, had any good things to say about Caleb when he left. So that throws a red flag to me out there. So I'm not a big fan. And I know the lot of love that he's getting is people keep on saying he looks like Patrick Mahomes. I mean, yeah, of course, when you say that, you're not going to want to pass up because who's going to say, oh, I pass up on the next Patrick Mahomes because we got a bad rap on his coaching from college. I understand that, but I'm not sold on him. I'm really not sold on JJ. I mean, I think he could be a cool, a nice quarterback. I don't see that many Hall of Fame quarterbacks in this draft like everyone thinks of. Now, wide receivers, I think there's a bunch of studs in here, and I'm not even talking about the first three. I'm talking about wide receivers 5, 6, and 7. I think those guys can be studs. I think the offensive linemen are really, really big, and I think those can go. I think we're going to talk about the wide receivers and offensive linemen more than we're going to talk about these quarterbacks.
Oh, so you said you're not sold on Caleb. Do you think the Bears made a mistake by trading Justin Fields and pretty much it's sold that they're going to probably go after Caleb Williams at this point?
I don't want to say they failed. I think the Bears organization failed on him because how many offensive coordinators he had and head coaches. I don't care what kind of quarterback you are. That's why I feel bad for the Carolina quarterback. What's his name? I can't think of his name.
Bryce Young.
Yeah, he's going to be the same thing. He could be a great quarterback, but he's going to go through system and head coach and new system and head coach. That's what Justin Fields did. So I think the reason why Caleb might success more, because look what the Bears have done. They've got him a lot of talent around him. I mean, what the Bears did, the Bears got rid of their defense when Justin Fields was there. And that means their defense was giving up a lot of points. So Justin Fields couldn't play Justin Fields' game because he was always throwing because they couldn't run the ball because they were always down 21, 28 points. So he couldn't play his game. So I feel bad for him. I think he's in a great situation right now. I'm not sold at Russell Wilson. He's not a cook anymore. He's a bar back. So it would not shock me if he doesn't even make the team. If he struggles at preseason, they could cut him and only lose $1 million. Now you have Justin Fields there, and you can pick up Mason Rudolph that can be a backup that knows the system of Pittsburgh. If let's say if things need to struggle and maybe shoot for the draft next year or stuff like that. So I like the position that Justin Fields is in.
Well, speaking of the division, I kind of want to pivot a little bit because I did say that Lamar was going to win the MVP.
Yes, you did. I remember you. I did. I ate crow on that. I'm not no disrespect.
How do you think the Ravens will do this upcoming season?
I mean, the division is probably one of the toughest divisions. I mean, you can't sleep on the Cleveland Browns, even though Watson's back, but they went pretty far without him. You can't sleep on the Bengals, who are going to be a little bit healthy with Joe Burrow. You can't sleep on the Pittsburgh Steelers now because they got some offense weapons and they finally have maybe a quarterback can throw the ball, or play action and use his feet to extend plays on both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. So it's a very, very tough division. So if I'm the Ravens, you're not just looking up and say, hey, we're going to easily win this division, because Pittsburgh always win 9+. Cincinnati's healthy. Cleveland's defense can still win games. If I'm Baltimore, you're like, damn, how come I'm not in the Saints, Falcons, Panthers, and Buccaneers division?
Why can't we be in Kansas City's division?
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, they're going to have a pretty much free playoff run like they always do. But another question that I got is this. Okay, yes, the Ravens are in one of the toughest divisions, but we always know there's always a surprise team out there that somewhat makes the playoffs. Who is that surprise team this year? Did you think, Ralph?
Wow, there could be a lot of ones this football season. I'm gonna wait to see what the draft comes out. If I had to choose one, we really can't see the Jets just because of, they didn't make it because they had no quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, I think they can be something. Houston, I would like to say Houston, because I'm still eating crow on them. I did not see that coming out. I would say something coming out of division, the Indianapolis Colts. If Richardson can come back healthy, they could be a surprise team. I'll stick with this one. Everyone thinks the Atlanta Falcons are going to have the easiest to win the division. I'm going to say Tampa Bay. I think Baker Mayfield finally has a home. He can finally, play Baker ball. He's learned like 6 new offenses since he's been in the league. Now he's signed with Buccaneers, Tampa Bay. He's got the same old offense, the same coordinator. Evans is back. I'm going to say Tampa Bay shocks the Atlanta Falcons. I say they win the division again.
So what are the odds of the Chiefs doing this three-peat?
I think they're plus 350. Not that much money has come in on them. I think they're almost like the Patriots when they kept on winning Super Bowls and all that. People were just tired of them. They're plus 450. People were just like, why would I bet them? I want them to lose now. That's what I think the Kansas City Chiefs are like. The 49ers, the Ravens are 9-1, Bengals are 12-1. They're beatable. We saw it in the Super Bowl. They're beatable. They should have lost that game. It's not like they blew out the 49ers. I don't see a three-peat.
Gron, said he got anything?
Okay, so I'm gonna shift to the other conference. The less murky conference, because it's really crazy in the AFC. But the NFC is not as quarterback heavy. Who's your top 3 in odds for the in the NFC?
Of course, it's the 49ers. They're about like plus 250. The Lions are 6-1, around there. And it's a battle between 2 teams in your division, Cowboys and Eagles. I think we want to see what the Eagles come back. Everyone thought they should have fired their head coach. I'm not sold on either one of them. If I had to buy stock or someone leapfrogging them, give me the Green Bay Packers. I was really impressed on how Jordan Love was, how he grew up week after week after week, and it's a very, very young team, and they got a little bit more offensive weapons out there. I think their defense is going to be a little bit more explosive as well. That division is not just the Lions. I think the Vikings took a step backwards. I think the Bears took a small step upwards. It all depends on how Caleb does.
Yeah.
It's going to be between Lions and Green Bay, and it would not shock me if Jordan Love goes up again, because nothing but a great experience he got last year for everyone just filling in Aaron Rodgers' shoes. Can he do it? Can he do it? And he had trouble. He had another. Week after week, I think he took his bumps and learned from them and just got stronger week after week.
Ralph,
Well,
I'm thinking about putting
everybody
couple dollars down on him for MVP. That's my dark horse.
Nah, I don't know about MVP, but
He had the most touchdowns in the league. He was up there.
Yeah, he was up there, but
just a dark horse.
I'm checking right now. His MVP odds are 11-1.
Well,
wow. Okay, not bad. Well, everybody knows y'all talking about them, but I'm a fan of the Detroit Lions. Biting kneecaps. It's my man right there. Coach of the year.
Yeah,
Coach,
I mean,
yeah.
I would love to see them. I mean, I was in Vegas for the Super Bowl Media Week. I have a home in New Orleans. People know that, so I'll be at that Super Bowl as well. So, I would like to see the Lions in it.
Well, I got a question. Okay, now we're not sure if Zay Flowers is going to get suspended or not. They're still investigating the NFL. But what are the odds that Rasheed Rice might miss most of the next season since he got into a
My
ridiculous
God.
situation yesterday?
Yeah, very sticky. I haven't read the full report. I don't know. There's that for some reason the NFL is a weird league that how they handle situations. If this was any other league, you'd be suspended or stuff like that. It seems like the NFL, you can hit someone or do something, and you only get a couple games. But if you gamble on a game, you're suspended for a whole year. I mean, I don't understand how the NFL does there. But what I've read, he's doesn't look good for him. We'll put it that way.
Ralph, we got to get your thoughts on the NCAA tournament. Final Four set. What are the odds? We got NC State, Purdue, and we got Alabama, UConn. UConn looking like the tribal chief out there, smashing everybody.
Yeah, they do. It's very impressive. But I'm sorry, the game I watched today during all my interviews and all that was fantastic. Watching Iowa and LSU that game had more betting action than every baseball game on the betting board today. So that just tells you how big women's game is in college and in pro is moving up. This game right now in women. So Beckers and Juju right now. I think Caitlin Clark will probably hand the torch to Juju. Is a fantastic freshman at USC right now, breaking all-time freshman records. I can't wait to watch her up at USC. But for the men's, I mean, yes, like UConn is minus 11, 12-point favorites, but how do you bet against them? I mean, it's I've never seen someone start a second half 30-0. I thought I was watching my brother's little kid play basketball in his 6th grade. I mean, it was unbelievable. So it's got to be. I mean, I know the networks want Connecticut and Purdue, but I'm sorry. What Purdue has done, I mean, losing last year to St. Peter's, embarrassment, and then come back and do what they did in Zach Edey. Is just a powerful man in the middle that hits free throws. I mean, I think it's going to be Purdue and UConn, and UConn will be a big favorite, but would not shock me if Purdue upsets them. I think Edey is on a mission right now, and free throws win big close games, and we've seen it so far in the tournament. If you don't hit your free throws, you're not winning, and I would not be shocked if Purdue wins because of free throw shooting in Connecticut. Not saying I don't like Connecticut, because I love watching Connecticut play, because this team plays like Bobby Hurley did when he played in college. And one thing I like about watching Bobby Hurley coach, he coaches like you're supposed to coach these kids now. Yeah, these kids are making more money than I am because of NIL, but hey, I'm the head coach, and if you want to win ships and rings to cut down nets, you listen to me. And these guys accepted that. And I love that. You see how he handles the huddle, how he handles them, and all that. You see the players have so much respect. So I don't know what he's doing that any other coach ain't doing right. But man, I love those players focusing on him in huddles and stuff like that. Hats off to how he coaches and all that, because those players are playing hard for him and could get back-to-back ships, which is very, very rare. We haven't seen this in Florida in the 90s.
I'm not too happy. My Duke, we got eliminated yesterday, but we'll be back though.
Free throws.
Yes, exactly. And I think free throws also hurt LSU game against Iowa today too. Angel Reese just didn't seem right after that injury.
I mean, I did an interview today in Baton Rouge, and they didn't like me for it, and I got a lot of the phone lines were ringing out that. And I'm no disrespect to LSU, South Carolina, Connecticut, USC, and all that. But if Iowa beats you, it's an upset. I don't care that they have the best player on the team, because Iowa has one transfer on their team, and that transfer is not even a starter. I mean, South Carolina lost all 5 of their starters last year to the draft and got all 5 new college transfers in there. LSU has the top transfer in the portal. I can't think of the white girl's name that played in Louisville last year. Just drew. And she's the one of the top college. I can guarantee you LSU is going to get the girl from Virginia Tech that announced today that she's opting out. So if you lose to Iowa, I'm sorry. I know Caitlin Clark. I can't count her as the best college women's basketball player because she has no ships. That's how I count best of all when you have ships. She doesn't have one yet. She's up there, but I'm sorry, she's got no other really significant help on her team, and she's still winning games. LSU. I thought LSU should have won easily. I thought she should have pounded the ball. Reese should have been mad that she wasn't getting the ball down low because in the first half she was dominating down low.
Yep, until she twinged her ankle. That perceives the question: does Angel Reese go to the WNBA? And Clark go to the WNBA? I know Ice Cube threw out some numbers at her by $5 million. So
I don't think she goes. I think she comes back another year. I mean, she's making enough coin that she doesn't need a WNBA. She's not a senior. I mean, Caitlin Clark, I think she could have applied for, I think, the COVID exception, but she's like, why? I mean, I'm still gonna get my State Farm money. So, and she gets to play at close to home because Indiana Fever have the number 1 pick. So I think that's probably the real reason why she's probably coming out, gets to play closer to home and stuff like that. But I think Reese comes back, and like I said, I would not be shocked if in 48 hours, the Virginia Tech point guard that just announced today is coming over to LSU.
Oh, the transfer you were thinking about was Haley Van Lith.
Yeah, from Louisville.
She didn't help contribute at all.
No, I mean, she's probably gonna transfer out. She's gonna embarrass all day. She couldn't do anything with Caitlin Clark.
Will Caitlin Clark be able to do that against South Carolina?
Was it?
Will Caitlin Clark be able to do that against South Carolina? Because we know that's the matchup we want to get.
No, I think South Carolina, they're pissed. They know that they blew it last year, that they should have won it last year.
Right.
I mean, no disrespect to LSU and Reese and the ladies from LSU last year who won it. They won it. They're the champs. But I think if it was LSU and South Carolina last year, Reese ain't doing this. South Carolina's doing this. Because I think South Carolina's team last year is better than this year's team.
And they are railroading women out there. Man.
Yeah,
it's ugly.
Yeah, I think South Carolina. I don't want to say has no issue because I'm sorry if Caitlin Clark's shooting from the logo and she's making them like she's doing today.
9 threes. That was hard to.
Yeah, it's a hard out, but I see South Carolina winning another one. South Carolina is almost like the UConn and Tennessees we saw in the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, Ralph, last question. Who wins NBA MVP, and is anybody going to really beat the Nuggets? I know LeBron had 9 threes last night. I know Dre and Roger are holding out hope for their Lakers, but I mean, is it Denver? Is it the Nuggets Invitational? All you can eat Nuggets, maybe McDonald's? You want a promotion?
If they can stay healthy, but I think MVP, SGA should get MVP. I'm sorry. I mean, what he's done in OKC,
I like that.
with that young staff, or young players that he has around him. I'm sorry. I would give it to SGA. He's fun to watch. I would give it to him. I mean, yeah, Joker's a Joker and stuff like that. I think the Greek Freak, if he would have stayed healthy down the road, I think he would have been up there. Keep an eye out for the Lakers and LeBron. I mean, he's hinting a lot that, hey, my time is up. I think he knows that he's probably not going to play with his son in the league, at least not anytime soon. No disrespect to his son. I'm not saying his son stinks, but when you have a cardiac arrest on the court, I've had a cardiac arrest. I've had 8 heart surgeries. I know that's in the back of your mind all the time. So I don't want to say LeBron's kid sucks and so that he can't play. No, I can guarantee you when he touches a ball or steps on that court, it's in his mind. And I feel bad for the kid, but I don't see LeBron playing for his kid. So that means I think he might end it quicker than maybe he thought he would. So I would not be shocked if he hangs him up in the next year or two.
Well, Ralph, tell the people how to keep up with you.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me ask this real quick. Because you mentioned the Nuggets, but I got to ask about the Celtics. Are they getting to the finals, or do you think it might be the Bucks?
If Jason Tatum can figure out how to play the fourth quarter like we know he can play in a regular season and stuff like that, because they have, I mean, they're almost averaging 120 points a game. I mean, they put up 118 today. Team total was 118.5. Sorry, bettors. If they can figure out how to play the fourth quarter in meaningful playoff games, then I think they can beat the Denver Nuggets or or the OKC or the Clippers or stuff like that, then I think the Celtics would put another banner up. But I can't say the Celtics are the best team because the fourth quarter, I think Porzingis is going to be a big factor in the playoffs. I think he's going to be the big reason why Brown and Tatum have a good playoff.
Well, Ralph, let the people know how to keep up with you, brother. I know you'll be watching Mania this weekend, and we got the Final Four, men's and women's. What do you watch? You got 3 TVs? What's going on?
I have 4 on. I have 6 in my office and 1 right here, so I got a total of 7.
Well, you'll be able to watch each WrestleMania match on the
Right.
Yeah, so I got WrestleMania, I got baseball, NBA, NHL, MLS soccer. Messi's playing on Saturday, so I got a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, you can find me on X at VSI.sports. You can find me on Instagram at Rafael Esparza. You can find me on DocSports.com. I'm still one of the head odds makers over at my bookie. You can find me on Jonathan Coachman's show, Driving the Line, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Howie Schwab is on the show with us. Remember him? Stump the Schwab on ESPN.
Stump the Schwab is with you now?
Yeah, he's on the show with me
Wow,
as well.
okay,
So,
oh my God.
Yeah, so it's I'll be doing like I said, Coachman's podcast after WrestleMania. So it's been a whirlwind of stuff that I've been doing lately. Seems like.
Well, Ralph, we appreciate you, brother. Everybody, put your hands once again together for Ralph Esparza being here on the Flex Zone podcast. Ralph, thank you. We'll have you back real soon to talk about the NBA playoffs and heading to the next NFL season.
Yeah, you definitely. You like I said before in the beginning of the show, for the amount of shows you guys do every Monday and stuff like that, it's an honor to come on the show with you guys. I've been, like I said, I think I've been on probably either 1 through 10, the start of 1 through 10 of you guys' shows. So it's an honor to be on your show. I've seen you guys graduate from college. I've seen you guys change new jobs, probably change new girls. So
Ralph, we seen when your beard was not gray.
Yeah. So, like I said, you guys, I've been with you guys and it's been nothing but an honor for you guys, for me.
Ralph,
Definitely.
we appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. And enjoy your weekend, man. I know it's gonna be a big.
All right, man.
That was Rafael Esparza, man. I can't wait to have him back on. I mean, it's always a pleasure when you have Ralph on, man.
Always.
Yes, appreciate that. Real quick, we were speaking of WrestleMania. We will be live night 1 and night 2. Raj, I know you'll be there. I want to get your expectations because we have the official night 1 match card, Dre. If you don't know, we know the matches on night 1. Let me see if I can share with you guys. Let's see here. So we do have the match 1 card. Let's do that. As we know, we have the main event, which will be the tag match between the bloodline of The Rock and Roman Reigns against Cody and Seth, with those stipulations as well. We got Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch. We got Jay and Jimmy, brother versus brother. And we got the 6-pack tag team match. We got the Jay, Bianca, Naomi 6-woman match, Gunther, Sami Zayn, and the Rey Mysterio match as well. Dre, real quick.
Oh man, I was kind of hoping that Bianca and them would take the tag titles off of Damage Control, but I mean that I know it's one thing to see the Tribal Chief and the Final Boss, but brother, I'm seeing Mommy and I get to see Jade and Bianca and Naomi.
What you mean? What you mean, brother?
Said night 1. Shoot, I'm in there night 1.
Oh, now you going to night 1 now?
Yeah, I'm going to night 1.
Are you going to night 2?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
So you're not going. So you flipped it. So instead of going to night.
Instead of night 2, yeah, we're going to night 1.
Oh,
So
okay.
But man, I mean, I'm glad I picked night 1 because I know we're talking about WrestleMania, but Jade Cardell, and I meant to ask, I should have asked when Ralph was on it. I forgot all about Jade's debut, but what a debut. That's one of the best debuts, honestly, I've seen to close out SmackDown the way that she did. I'm really looking forward to seeing this woman. I mean, I've seen her, as a matter of fact, I was with you, Raj, when seeing her in AEW. I mean, and then just to see that transition to WWE, I mean, phenomenal. I can't, like I said, I can't wait to see it. That's honestly outside of the main event. That's probably the match I'm looking forward to, and then I would probably put honestly Mommy third on that list, just because. I mean, to see Rhea Ripley and how she's transitioned herself into a huge star. I mean, that's honestly a good card to me for night one.
I don't really care, honestly, real quick, Raj. I know you're going to be there. I want to get your. I don't care about the Rey Mysterio Dragon Lee tag match. It should have just been Rey and Escobar. I don't really care
Yeah,
about
I
Gunther and
agree with
Sami
that.
Zayn. That should have been Gunther and Chad Gable. I don't care about the ladder
Agreed.
match because somebody might die. I mean,
Somebody might die.
it's gonna be a car crash, man. I do want to see what Jade does in her 2 minutes in the ring. You know, she's gonna get that one tag. I do want to see brother versus brother. I think Rhea and Becky will be good in the tag match. Really, it's about the tag match, and that's all that matters.
Now, I
Yeah, I
do
mean,
agree with you about Rey Mysterio, though. That should have been a one-on-one match, but I think they did that. Same thing with with the ladder match. It's one of those paydays trying to get as many people on the card as possible. Because to me, the ladder match should have been Awesome Truth versus um,
Judgment
Judgment
Day.
Day.
Yeah.
well,
Go ahead, Raj.
I think they're trying to flip it. Like last year, night one was the best card in my opinion. And the last two actually WrestleManias, the night one was better than night two. So I think night two probably will be better than night one this year. But I mean, the card itself, like you said, I honestly I don't really care about the 6-pack tag title match. I might be in the bathroom somewhere, or getting some food. Gunther, Sami Zayn. I don't even know why they're wrestling each other. I don't like that. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee and all that other crap. I'm like, why? Why do we need that? It's
Honestly,
whatever. It's
uh,
whatever. But
honestly, I think that might be the upset, though. I think they
what?
got to do something to stand out because everything seems so
Dre.
predictable. Like,
Ray's not losing. Ray's not losing
Ray's gonna win. So I mean,
again. He's gonna win again.
he's gonna win again, and I don't get why they're doing that. But either
no,
way,
well, I think Sammy beats Gunther. I think that's the upset.
I
I don't,
don't
I
think.
don't
So.
yeah, I think everything else, like you said, Ray's gonna win. Awesome Truth will probably win. Jade, of course, she's not losing her debut. Jay's got to win so that way he can keep the momentum into the main event scene.
I
Mommy's
think
gonna
Jimmy wins,
win.
Dre. I think
And,
Jimmy needs it more. I think
Yeah,
they get a
Jimmy.
rematch and then Jay wins the rematch.
I agree with you, Byron. I think Jimmy takes it.
like you said, there's going to be one upset. I could see that was my other pick. I could see Jimmy beating Jay.
But I mean, like you said, I will be in the house night one. More than likely, I might even come on for a little bit if I can get a portable what you call those phone chargers or whatever that you carry around with you.
Yeah,
Oh
portable
yeah,
phone
I
charger.
got one of those, man. I carry one of the portable phone chargers. Yeah.
Yeah, the portable. If I can get a portable phone charger, I might even join the telecast for a little bit. But I mean, night one is going to be pretty cool. It's going to be interesting just to be there because one, I've never been to a WrestleMania before, so I don't know what to really expect just being in the house. But it should be interesting, like sports talk with JC says. So it should be interesting. But the card itself is not bad. It's not bad at all. But I just wish it had some more heavy hitters. I wish they maxed it out a little bit more. But I think night two, like I said before, probably will be probably the best card of both nights.
You know, I'm happy for you, Raj. The fact that this will be your first WrestleMania, man. You'll have a great time. I will say.
Right,
That.
and on top of that, my hotel room is half price, so I'm happy. I am happy.
Oh, that's even better, baby. That's
Yeah.
even better.
That's right. I'm happy about that thing. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think night two they have a Philadelphia street fight between Bobby Lashley and the Prophets in the Final Testament. They have the Bailey EO match. They have the Roman Cody
Okay.
match. They have the U.S. title three-way match with Logan Paul, and then LA
Okay.
Knight.
Oh, dang, that's not night one. That's
LA Knight and Logan Paul. I mean LA
Oh,
Knight and
and,
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles definitely want to see that. So
Yes.
yeah, night two got a little bit more matches that I want to see.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of balances itself out, and plus we probably gonna get a surprise too, somewhere in the show, and
Oh, for sure.
I'm pretty sure that we want to get a segment with a special guest or whatever that comes on. So it's going to be a little bit more
Little
intricacies.
Wayne will be there performing. He was announced, so he
Oh,
will be performing Jay
Meek
Uso to the
Mill.
ring, maybe.
Yeah,
Meek Mill.
Meek Mill's going to be there.
Yeah, so you're gonna have a lot of star-studded Philadelphia people and just people in the industry in general. It does start at 7 p.m. So please, guys, if you haven't, I know we got a lot of people on X watching us. We're I'm having some technical difficulties, but I'm making it work. We're gonna be here all week. I did, Raj. I'll just say this on air before I forget. I did record a few previews. It's a lot of matches. So Raj, I know I was having output issues. So after this, if you can let me know if you can hear me, because I did a couple of them. If you can't, I'll just do something else. But we will be live each night. I said that to say we'll be live
Yeah.
each night. We'll have previews of each match for each night. Like I said, I started a few. We'll get them out to you probably as early as tomorrow if the audio is good. But we'll be here 7 p.m. night one, 7 p.m. night two. Should be a loaded night, but starting a little bit earlier should end around 11:30. So it should not be too long. I think the longest thing may be The
Oh
Rock coming
man,
up as
about Pat
entrances on night one.
Patterson.
Pat Patterson.
Mark just dropped that. Wow. Okay. That's
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Really?
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you know what? I think Kevin Hart might come too. I could see Kevin Hart being as in Philly and he's tight with The Rock. I could see that.
Yeah, so stay tuned to the Flex Zone. Hit the bell, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. Like I said, if you're watching on X, you got a lot of love on X. Thank you guys. Please, if you have YouTube, if you have a Google account, go on to
Oh, but it
YouTube.
says that it said Pat Patterson died a while ago though.
Go over to YouTube and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Search the Flex Zone podcast in YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that bell. We're close to doing some things we're trying to do on the channel so we can get back to where we were. And we're going to be here with you as we have a loaded April. We got the WrestleMania build, the previews, the predictions, the NFL draft. And we have, of course, AEW Dynasty at the end of the month, which is shaping up to look like a big show as well. So all your WrestleMania needs on the Flex Zone. Like I said, if those previews are good, we'll have them out as early as tomorrow. We'll get moving on that as well. But let's go back to the NCAA tournament here as Cravante joins us back. I think Dre is subbing out for right now. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell as I mentioned, and make sure you let us know your thoughts on everything that happened this past week in the world of sports. But Cravante, the Final Four is set in the men's and women's. Let's start with the ladies. We had Caitlin Clark dropping 41 tonight, as they will now advance to face UConn in the Final Four. That should be a good matchup. Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark. Beckers was kind of Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark a little bit. She dealt with some injuries. Georgina Oriema back in Final Four again. Most record Final Fours for any team. And South Carolina against NC State women and men, both in the Final Four.
Beautiful.
Uh, how you feel? How you feel about these matchups in the women? And are we just going to get the inevitable, like I said, Caitlin Clark against the South Carolina undefeated streak?
I just want to point out what Mark said his last comment. I guess it didn't quite work out. This matchup with LSU and Iowa, I was pulling for LSU, but something felt a little off. There's been a lot of buzz going on with LSU, with the coaching and basically how she's running her ship. And some people don't like it, but it is what it is. But I just felt like it was a lot going on in LSU circle. And on top of that, Iowa want a revenge. That's just what it is. When you lose, and they lost in the championship, and the game wasn't really that close, and they wanted payback. And the vibe looked as though LSU was like, we hear that should be enough, and it didn't look like they came to play, and it didn't look like they came to finish the job. And Iowa had everything to prove. Caitlin Clark has had an amazing season. She's going to be in all the record books, pretty much at the top in NCAA women's and even partially NCAA period, men and women's combined. But we all know what she's looking for. She's looking for all that mess we were talking about last year. That's what she wants. That's what she's looking for. Unfortunately, though, Byron, South Carolina is still very much in it, and Iowa actually beat South Carolina last year to go to the championship. But South Carolina, talk about revenge. South Carolina is upset about that, and they are railroading everybody, and it's really, really ugly.
Even though last two games have been a little bit closer, Cavante, than the score indicated. It been like 10, 12 points. I think some closer games.
Right.
So they haven't played their best. I don't think they played their best ball yet either, South Carolina.
Scary, very, very, very scary. But they're gonna have to play their best ball against Caitlin Clark, because you don't want a 40 burger. You don't want her to put up 40 points in that manner. The crowds in it, the teams in it, and everybody plays. Excuse me. When your superstar plays better, typically your team plays better, and South Carolina doesn't want that. But I think Dawn Staley is going to have them girls up and ready to play whoever they play, because who knows, they may not get past UConn. Being and speaking of UConn and NC State men and women. Wait, hold on. So UConn beat USC.
Yes.
I,
Yeah,
I
they
said
won.
it. I said it in the chat, Dre. When D was talking all that juju stuff, I said Paige Beckers is as good as anybody in the league. She
Right.
was Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark. I mean, she probably can't shoot like she does, but she was a really good player. She just got hurt every year. And then you got Gino and UConn. They always got those women All Americans too. I know we hear about Paige Beckers, but they got All Americans too. So they just had a few years where they haven't won at all, but they're still pretty good. Now it will be interesting to see how they play against Iowa though, because they could beat them.
Yeah, absolutely, because UConn is something about the blue blood teams, man. It's like it's in them. It's in the DNA. Like, them being there is not surprising at all. But big ups to UConn on the men's and women's side. Big ups to NC State on the men's and women's side for making it thus far. Unfortunately, I think I think South Carolina is the team to beat. I mean, it is a team that's going to win everything. So all eyes on them. Men's basketball. NC State is the lone Cinderella that's pretty much left. They took down Dre's Duke Blue Devils, and I could not be more ecstatic for that. Hold on.
Gotta get some water.
Yeah. That's wild to me. That's absolutely wild to me. I can't. Rod, you're by yourself with that one, brother. But NC State's alone. Cinderella is left, and they have a huge matchup with Purdue. Purdue was not ecstatic about how they got put out in the tournament last year. Some may call it embarrassing. So they are on a mission similar to Iowa, Caitlin Clark at Iowa. So that's gonna be interesting to see that matchup with DJ Burns, who's also getting some NFL. DJ Burns is actually getting some looks from NFL executives, saying if this is something he want to do long term, because the brother got some feet. Okay, he got some feet with him. He got some nice spin moves. He moves really well for a big man. And them being in NFC, them being in the NCAA tournament, NCAA Final Four since they won it all back in the 80s. This is big for the NC State program. But just like I said, South Carolina and the women's, I think UConn is on a mission right now, and they are. I don't know if you guys. I didn't bring it up when Ralph was on, but these guys have been covering. I want to say they cover like about 10 games straight. I don't care what the spread is, they covered it. I took the 8.5 last game, Byron, and at halftime, they was only a 5. And I was like, this is different. They went on a 30-0 run, and I said, well, there goes my 8.5 is good. 8.5 is quite safe now. UConn, they look like the Warriors in when the Warriors was on that crazy run, in the third quarter specifically, because I remember when the Warriors used to just blitz whoever they was playing in the third quarter, and they would just overwhelm whoever they're playing. That's what UConn looks like. It's like you can contain them for a half, but not the whole game. So, and who's UConn playing in on the men's?
Alabama
Alabama.
rolled Raj. Well, since Alabama is in the Final Four for the first time in basketball, we know about the Alabama Invitational in college football, but they are in the Final Four for the first time. Shout out to Nate Oates and his team. They beat Clemson. Funny how they played in the Elite Eight, those two teams. Raj, I know Dre's not here, that's history, but can we get a roll tide? Because Alabama may get rolled by UConn on Saturday night.
Well, before they do get rolled, if they even get rolled, I got to give you a certain how. Tide, baby. Final Four appearance. It's been great. I'm glad y'all made it, but we shall see if you can make it past it.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
UConn boys is something different. So I'm looking for UConn in the men's tournament, men's bracket, and South Carolina in the women's bracket. And I'm not a fan of I thought the Iowa LSU matchup was going to be better, and it did not give what I thought it should have gave. Man, it did not.
It didn't live up to the hype.
It did not quite live up to the hype. For the first half, it did, but
yeah, first half was really good.
I don't know. LSU is like it felt as though them showing up that it was enough, and Caitlin Clark had a lot of things to say about it, and with 9 threes specifically and 41 points, and now, with her being able to play another game, I believe she's going to break the record for all-time tournament points. So just another thing to add to the list for Caitlin Clark's collegiate career.
Did they like literally like they kidnapped Steph for like the weekend and clone a piece of his DNA and gave it to her? I mean, because the way she was just destroying LSU today was, I mean, from the jump, the first points of the game was a 3-pointer from her, and I think like 2 people was in her face, and she still shot the ball in their face. That jump was crazy. Hats off to Iowa. I don't watch them that much at all, but goddamn, I had to catch this LSU and Iowa game, and yeah, like you said, the first half was fantastic. Like Iowa was killing them at first, and then, you know, Angel Reese and them girls, they was getting it together. You know, Angel Reese had a couple steals, couple blocks, you know what I'm saying, getting them put back points and tied the game up, took the lead, and then all of a sudden, like at the end of the half, she goes down for a couple minutes, and then all of a sudden the whole momentum just shifted right back to Iowa, and they never got right after that. And it sucks because I wanted to see more of a closer game as well. I thought that LSU was going to, you know, continue to fight hard, but it was just something about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin was like, I'm not going to let you come back and beat me this time around. I'm going to take it to you. I'm going to finish you off. And my goodness, like you said, them 9 3-pointers. I mean, it was like every time that LSU wanted to make a run, she just kept hitting the 3 or making the right pass to a teammate or getting rebounds. It was amazing to watch, man. It really was. And she has plenty of options. It's like she can go to the league. She probably will. She could play in the Big 3 if she wants
They
to.
saying she could do both also, Raj, if she wants, because the Big 3 takes place when the WNBA isn't going on, or she could do both. So, and that way she's not buried overseas like a lot of these other athletes, Brittany Griner was, and others who've had issues over there or not getting what they deserve financially. She can stay in state, be close to home, play for Indiana, close to Iowa as well. So,
if I was her, I would take both. I would do both at this point. I mean, you're young enough. You don't play an actual real physical game of basketball. So, I mean, if you could do them jump shots like you've been doing,
and it's half court. It's half
and
court,
it's
people.
and it's
It's half
and it's
court.
half court.
As soon as they give her the ball, she's shooting right there.
She's shooting. She's shooting on some old guy's head for real. In the big three. But I mean, hey, just think about it. I mean, people want to see her. She sells out basketball games. And I'm pretty sure Indiana cannot wait to draft her because she's going to definitely give them a TV boost. And the big three, Ice Cube, you already know what he's about. He's about his bread. So it would be a huge move to get her. And it would be something totally different. So it's gonna be a great Final Four for the women and the men's. Uh, it's funny that NC State in both conferences, the men and women's, made it to the Final Four, and also UConn. So that's pretty interesting, man. So it's gonna be fun to watch down the stretch. But shout out to Alabama again, though, because they never made it to the Final Four in basketball. Usually, they're always in the Final Four in college football. Thanks to Nick Saban and his program. But well, we already know those days is gone because he retired. But yeah, it's refreshing to see the basketball program doing something. But yeah, UConn probably will whoop their ass when they play them. But that's neither here nor there. We're not there yet. So shout out to Alabama. And you know what? Even though I kind of shitted on Purdue a couple weeks ago, hey, they made it to the Final Four. So
I did too, Raj. I didn't trust them to get past the Sweet 16.
So Purdue chicken, yeah, they probably
You did
will.
say that.
They probably will be in a be in a national championship game because I mean NC State, that big dude. What was that big dude that was playing last night?
DJ Burns. DJ Burns.
Yes, that
DJ Burns, man.
that's a big dude. That's a big dude.
That's gonna be an interesting matchup. Him and
Big
Edie.
dude.
Edie like Wembanyama size, and Miller is like a Zach Randolph 2.0.
Jesus.
Right.
Some interesting games, man. Some very interesting games, but the women have been really killing it, though. They have been putting on some shows for real, so can't wait to watch.
Let's get to some NFL guys. If you guys don't have anything else as far as the NCAA, we'll see what plays out as we'll be live next week during the national championship game. So we'll be talking about that and more. And the women's is on Sunday, so we'll talk about that probably to open the show next week as well. So a big sports weekend, as we mentioned. What's going on in Kansas City with this Rashee Rice situation? Actually, it looks like they just signed Carson Wentz as well, as to be the backup for Patrick Mahomes. Signs a 1-year deal. But it looks like a 6-vehicle car crash in Dallas on Saturday led police searching for Kansas City wide receiver Rashee Rice. He stated that a vehicle believed to be registered to Rice was involved in the accident at 6:20 p.m. on Saturday. So someone in a Chevrolet Corvette and someone in a Lamborghini were speeding when they lost control. Lamborghini went onto the shoulder, hit the median, causing a chain reaction involving 4 other vehicles. They don't know if Rice was present at the scene, but they mentioned him as the suspected driver of the Corvette. 2 people were given medical attention and others went to the hospital for minor injuries. The individuals in both the Lamborghini and Corvette fled from the scene, not stopping to provide information to others, according to the report. Rice is from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, went to SMU, and drafted in 2023 and part of the Chiefs receiving corps and champion team, 79 catches, 938 yards this season. So, yeah, Raj, I'll start with you, brother.
It's not funny, but it's another situation where it could have been a lot worse than what it was. We already seen what happened to Henry Ruggs with the Las Vegas Raiders a couple years back, where he actually hit somebody and killed somebody, and now he's in jail. Huh?
And a dog.
And damn, and a dog too. And he's actually in jail at this present time. And Rashee Rice, man, I got that news yesterday. I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, are you serious? Are we doing this again? Have we not learned from the Henry Ruggs situation? It's only been a couple years ago.
Right, yo.
Right. It's not like it's been like 10 years, 15 years. It happened like literally 2 years ago, or maybe less than that. But either way, I don't understand. Why are you drag racing in the first place? Like what are you doing? Like you're an NFL player, you just won a championship. After your rookie season, you have a chance to make big money playing with the best quarterback in all of football. You probably the number one option other than Travis Kelce on the team. I don't understand what some of these guys' heads are at for real. And I'm really glad that nobody, seriously, like really got hurt or killed in this situation. But he's just foolish, man. It really is foolish. And it just really shows you that, some guys need to some guys really just need to sit the hell down for real. Like, and I get it. He might be 23, 24 years old. He's a young guy. He's probably going out, you know what I'm saying, going to clubs, doing all this other nonsense. But still, it's like you should not be out there speed racing. This is not a video game. This is real life. So it's just dumb, man. It just is, and I don't know what else to say. It's just really stupid. It really is, and I don't know what that league does to him. They might suspend him for half of the year. I don't see Kansas City ain't cutting him. That ain't happening. I don't see that happening. But he might be suspended for like most of next season, if not all of next season. Because an example needs to be made. Seriously, an example needs to be made at this point. You cannot be out there speeding. And since he fled the scene, we don't even know if he was drinking. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to get that aspect of it. Because if he was doing that, then that would be a lot worse as well. Because that's what happened to Henry Ruggs too. He was drinking and driving, but he fled the scene. That doesn't make it any better. But he fled the scene. I'm pretty sure they'll catch up with. He'll catch up with him down the line. And yeah, man, these young guys, man. If that program is not tight already, for the young guys, it needs to get a lot tighter. Like a lot tighter. Some examples really need to be made other than Henry Ruggs, because you can't be doing that. Zay Flowers a couple months ago almost got caught up in some foolishness. Luckily, nothing has happened to him. So, but still, you got to tread lightly. In these social media days, you have to tread lightly. There's cameras everywhere. You can't get away with certain things that you used to get away with. So just please keep just keep it safe, man. Just keep it safe. Do the right things. Don't be drinking and driving. Don't be out here with these hookers and hoes. You leave all these people alone. Go, just get on the field, do your job, take your ass home. If you can find yourself a nice woman, get yourself a nice woman. Stay out of trouble, and don't be out here being a goddamn fool, because
Finish him, Daddy.
yes, and do that. Finish the one girl that you're supposed to be with. Don't be out here hoeing around. Don't be doing none of that. Keep so that's all I got, man. That's all I got. That is it. Cravante, you got it.
And that is Raj and I.
Well, now that's goofy.
There it is. I was about to ask if we could start. Goofy's a little bit early.
I was going to say this is a perfect transition, Cravante, as we transition to Goofies of the Week. Let me get Goofy out.
Listen, it's well.
Let's get go, Cravante. Go.
Since we're going to transition, thanks, Raj, for that message, and we should play that message should be played over and over. That clip, you should take this clip and play it over and over and over it. Oh, this should be on a loop, man, because I completely agree. Because it's
Bring Goofy up. Let's bring Goofy up.
Oh.
Of course. Something wrong here.
I don't know if you heard Goofy, but he may be having some technical difficulties.
No, I heard Goofy was heard.
Goofy is good. Thank you. Gangsta Mickey. Send free stuff. Go ahead, Cravante.
Always send free stuff. So welcome to Goofies of the Week, sponsored by the Flex Zone. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time to let me tell the good people what I thought was goofy this week. And this is a little bit different because we're talking about this and we just kind of started Goofies, but y'all know I have a high level Goofy and I have a low level Goofy. The higher level, the lower level Goofy is something that's usually funny, kiki highs is on the lower end. It's not making too much noise, and we just have the hope that it does not become a higher level of goofiness, because then we have to congregate, we have to come together, we have to talk and figure out who, what organization, what team is being goofy. And I just want to pick back up where Raj left off, man, because I really truly approve that message, because young guys, young people, especially young successful athletes, have this mentality that they are invincible, untouchable, and they have the it can't happen to me, or it won't happen to me mentality. And it is just not a safe mentality to have at all. It's not good for anybody's health. I don't understand. I don't know how many different examples we need to have or we need to show for kids to learn, but I work with kids. More often than not, I don't care how many times you warn a kid, they gonna have to learn the hard way. A lot of the time, they're gonna have to learn the hard way. And we don't want to see it happen, but the reality is, in order for them to truly learn and understand the consequences of their actions, something bad has to happen. Now, we just hope and we try our best to prevent it being no detrimental to their health or their life, but they have to learn. And unfortunately, even though these are technically grown men, if I'm talking about Henry Ruggs and now Rashid Rice, they are men at the end of the day because they're of age according to the government. But you know how they say your mind's not even fully developed until you're about 25, and something needs to be put in place. I saw Mark saying something about Jerry Rice and Des Bryant. Hey, it's something that we need to seriously consider, because young black men are throwing away their lives. There it is. That's the one right there. Young black men are throwing away their lives, and it is very, very, very scary, because it's not just them, because they made it to this level that they, I'm sure, worked their entire lives to get to, and they probably have people that they're taking care of. They probably have families, kids, mom, dad, uncle, all aunts, cousins that they're taking care of, that are depending on them. But not just that, they're destroying their own lives in the process. I can't stress Henry Ruggs enough, because my gosh, he legit had it all. Like one of the top guys coming out of Alabama, wild, crazy, fast. The Raiders, he brought some explosiveness to the Vegas Raiders offense, and unfortunately, he brought some explosiveness to the highway, and it ended him where he's at now, which is in jail, because he was going so fast that, cars exploded. Well, the car, I think it was a truck, exploded along with her dog in it, and a lot of families' lives were changed forever. And because they also had his girlfriend in the car as well, so a bunch of different lives, a bunch of different families were affected by this. And thankfully, in Rashid Rice's case, it is not that detrimental, but it could have been so much worse. Like, y'all had drag racing in the daytime on a crowded highway. What is really good with y'all? Like, what do we're not even thinking. no more at this point, because what tells you that that's a good idea? It's a crowded highway. Why are we drag racing? And folks is on the shoulder, folks is all over the place, and then they run into the same car, which then tailed into them hitting 3 other cars in the mix. And then after all of that, a bunch of people, they look like clowns coming out the car. A bunch of people get out the car and just go off. You know what I'm saying? Just walk off and walk away. Now, Rod said something that's very, very important. Listen, man, it's 2024. Folks got cameras everywhere. What are the chances that somebody had a dash cam recording everything at that point in time? No way this is a thing 15, 20 years ago. No way this is a thing. But that's just a more incentive to be careful and stop doing dumb stuff, especially out in public, because somebody's gonna have their phone out, somebody's gonna have a dash cam everywhere you go. But back to the situation, clowns coming out the car and they just leave. It's a 6-car accident. They ain't check on nobody. They just got up out of there. That was it. Some of the guys about guns, about being. This might be, yeah. So about guns being taken from the vehicle. Oh boy. Sheesh. Yeah, that's a whole nother situation. But again, you out here wilding and you choose to wild more on top of it. If you got the yada mean on you, excuse me, if you got that thing on you, why are you being reckless? Because now you just piling the charges on top of one another. Why are we doing this? And then you got your homeboys and all that in there. Like, y'all all going down because y'all all walked away from a scene of a crime. Y'all all in trouble. Now, I don't know if Rasheem Rice was the driver, because it was a lot going on. I saw a lot of bodies and 2 cars. I'm like, I don't even know who's who, but I don't know if he was in the car or if he was actually driving. But nonetheless, bro, you being stupid. This is dumb. Why are we doing this? Everybody, you have a lot to lose. And that's what I want the young athletes to realize. You're not invincible. You're not invincible, and you have a lot to lose. You like how you living now. You like how things are coming together. You came off a championship, Super Bowl. You feeling good, feeling great. It can all go away like that. Please ask Henry Ruggs. It can go away in a split of a second. And we talk about. And unfortunately, we keep talking about young black men, whether it's getting with a woman twice their age and getting them pregnant, or if it's drag racing, or if it's just trying to test how fast your car goes. You have to stop. You're not the first ones to do whatever you're doing. And there's bad endings a lot of times with a lot of these situations. And your life can change forever. It's not good. It's not cool. You don't get no cool points for it. And all the people in that car is not your mans either. They're not. Like, somebody got to say, yo, you can't do this, man. And at the very least, separate themselves from it, because it's too much. That was all young black men that got out that car looking like clowns. That was all young black men that got out of that car. And it's very, very, very unfortunate, because now lives are going to change. Now, thankfully, no one got seriously hurt, as in Henry Ruggs situation. But We've seen it happen before with Henry Ruggs, and you still out here doing the same thing. And not only that, you bringing somebody else with you. It's 2 cars. Y'all out here speeding in the daytime in a busy highway. Like, what? I don't. For the life of me, young black brothers, you got to get it together, man. Yeah, y'all cutting yourselves short of enjoying the rest of your lives because y'all being dumb in this moment. I don't know, man. I don't know. But y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great. And unfortunately, Rasheem Rice adds his name to the long list of goofy young black athletes doing dumb stuff. Got to do better.
Of course. Something wrong here.
Oh.
Well, now that's goofy.
Thank you for that, Cravante. That Goofies of the week. Drizzy Dre, you're back with us.
Yes, sir.
Any thoughts on the Final Four? Anything before we get ready to get out of here, or WrestleMania that we didn't get to with you?
I mean, I'm. These are probably the matchups that we anticipated. With the women's side, Iowa, UConn, South Carolina. The men's side, UConn in there. NC State was not anticipated, but I mean, it's always going to be one. And like I said, I mean, yeah, I'm a Duke fan, but didn't figure Duke even make it this far. So Purdue is like Ralph was saying, Purdue. UConn is probably the matchup we want to see on the men's side. The women's side, you're going to, of course, you want to see Iowa and South Carolina. So, we'll see what happens over the weekend, and excited to see what happens with WrestleMania. I don't really want to see Brock turn on Roman, just because I think that's so predictable as a storyline. I think if it's WrestleMania 40, do something that we haven't seen before, and if you are going to start tearing down the bloodline and building up for Rock Roman, let that gradually happen, as opposed to it just. I think him turning on Roman would just be too quick and too predictable. Those are just my thoughts. And Cavante, good job with your Goofy of the Week.
Appreciate you, brother.
We need to see Cody suffer even more. Like, I don't want him to win. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't want him to win the belt, and that's not because I don't like Cody. Cody is okay, but it would just be too easy for them to do that. It's like, okay, great, The Rock is back. He's the final boss. He's, whooping, Cody and Seth's ass in the ring with the belt and all this other great stuff. And then everybody's going to think that, oh yeah, The Rock's doing all this stuff, so he's going to easily just magically give Cody his moment on Sunday. I don't want that. I want him to continue to suffer until the middle of the year, until he has to actually win the Money in the Bank, and then have to find his way back to Roman. I want this to be a whole storyline, a whole season of an ass whooping before he just gets his way.
Well,
that's just my thought.
Well, Rod, we're always a fan of the ass whoopings, but I think it's just too easy, like you said, for him to just finish the story, and I think it's more money in him
struggling.
Chasing. Yeah, because after he wins it, to me is then what? That's what I've always been saying, and y'all have been rocking with me this whole time. I just wonder what's next after he finishes his story. So I think kind of like his old man, like you want eventually he's going to get the belt,
of course.
You just want to see him having to try to overcome, see what's going to happen. Who's going to try to screw him out? Maybe it is Brock. Maybe it is Seth. I don't know, but I just don't feel like he's gonna do that. And then after seeing, I thought A&E, their series on documentaries right now is really, really good. They did one last night on The Miz and Daniel Bryan with their rival, and they also did their biography on Roman Reigns. And to see Roman having to go through all the struggles, and Roman even getting personal, talking about how he's half Samoan and half white, and to say that he didn't even feel like a complete Samoan, him going and saying that he thought about retirement, going into how he became from the big dog to the tribal chief. So and it just seems like Roman should be the guy to like still have the belt. And then when you have people on the chiming in like Seth Rollins, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, legends in the game, people who are Mount Rushmores. I mean, the Usos. They're all like people were really emotional and really want Roman to win. So I think it's just why not let? I mean, at this point, why not let him just continue to have his time? Yes, we want Cody to finish his story, but it just seems like right now it should be Roman to continue this legacy that he's built. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to beat Bruno Sammartino or Bob Backlund's records, but and like Raj was saying, probably like eventually we know that the title reign is eventually going to come to an end. But even if it does come to an end, he's going to get the title right back soon. So I don't know, but at this point, I just don't think that right now it needs to end anytime soon.
Well, Dre, what can the people expect? Episode 435 next Monday during the national championship game of the men.
We'll continue here on the Flex Zone to do draft coverage. We're getting closer and closer to that NFL draft, so we have Ralph on. We're working on some other guests right now to try to bring them on within the coming weeks until uh, the draft later on this month.
Yes, we'll be recapping the women's national championship game, which is on Sunday. We'll be recapping night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. I know Dre and Raj may try to join me. I'll be live streaming both nights. And yeah, we'll be talking about that and more. And we got to talk about the NBA playoff push as the season. The play-in starts in about 2 weeks, the in-season tournament. So we'll see what happens with that as well. Raj, what do people need to do on social media? A lot of people on X need to get over to the YouTube, right?
Yes, get over to YouTube, man. I see 27 people all in the chat. If you're on X, if you're on Facebook, head over to the YouTube channel, the Flex Zone Podcast. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave a comment, man, because this is what we do. That's our most prized possession is our YouTube page. So even though we love you on Facebook as well, we love you on Facebook and we love you on X, head over to YouTube, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, man. Become a member of the Flex Zone Podcast because all of our videos are played on YouTube.
You guys did an interview last week with Rita Hubbard. Did a great job. Talk about that.
Yes, we did an interview with Rita Hubbard last week. It was a fantastic interview. Talked about the Baltimore Ravens, her thoughts on John Harbaugh's performance as a head coach overall, and some other things as well. So if you have not watched the interview, go over to the YouTube channel. Yeah, go to the YouTube channel. It's on the top of the page. The Flex Zone meets Rita Hubbard, and it was a great interview. So check it out if you haven't seen it.
And we're just getting started with the Ravens content creators. We got another major Ravens fan favorite, probably their number one fan. We're working on that in the book, so a little tease for that. Hopefully he'll be on soon, and then Graven will be back soon as well, along with others in the podcast game. So we'll be bringing you more Ravens content as we head towards the draft. Cavante, we're going to try to get these draft profiles. We're going to figure it out.
So I started working on majority of them, if not all of them, this past weekend. So, I mean, we can start this week, man.
We shall. We'll get those things published as a midst of all the other content that'll be going on. As mentioned, next Monday we'll be live for episode 435, live Saturday and Sunday, 2 nights of WrestleMania, the biggest wrestling show of the year, especially in the world of WWE. We'll have AEW on Wednesday. You'll have each and every match hopefully broken down and previewed by yours truly coming to the channel this week. We got the Orioles going on, so you'll get some Orioles content in there. They win again tonight. And more content in between there as well. So stay tuned to the Flex Zone Podcast, only place fellas give me sports how you want it.
When you need it.
The show is executively produced by the man right here, Andre Melton, the co-patriarch, the super producer himself, along with the voice of reason, the other co-patriarch, the senior producer, Cavante Bebe, our social media producer who makes everything pristine, That is Big Raj, the Meat Man. He will be in WrestleMania. If you see him in Philly, say hello to him. And I'm sure
Oh,
Raj will be taking people's phones, if you know what I mean, as he meets the people at good old Mania. So we look for
right,
those YouTube numbers to shoot up. Go ahead, Dre.
right. Oh, no, I was saying Raj there both nights. I'm just there night.
Yes, we'll try to maybe get y'all on the stream, and I know Dre you'll be around, but we'll definitely work on that as well. And we'll be talking about it next week. We'll get the Raj experience. We may even get Raj to do a video about it. We'll see what happens this week as well. But he'll be in the Philly area. We'll be back next Monday. We'll be back each and every day with content this week. Throw your ones up. Acknowledge the Hitter Sports Podcast table, the Flex Zone, Twitter, Instagram, the Flex Zone 1. The Flex Zone Podcast on TikTok. And if you're on Cash App, you want to donate, support the podcast, you may be asking, head over to our Cash App, the Flex Zone 1, hashtag the Flex Zone 1. I'm going to put it on the screen right here for you one more time. You got guest ideas, you want to be a part of the show, the FlexZone1 at gmail.com. Hit the bell. WrestleMania night stream, 2 night streams next week during the national championship game, and a host of other content. If anything else breaks out before then, and draft profiles on the top prospects in the 2024 NFL draft, as it is now less than a month away. For Dre, Cavante, and Raj, God's favorite host, getting ready to sign off, put the kids to bed. Once again, big shout out to Ralph Esperanza from Vegas, breaking those odds down. One of our most illustrious guests. Once again, big up to Ralph for being on the show yet again. It is the Flex On Podcast, fellas. Only place giving sports how you want it.
When you need it.
If you're on X or Facebook, go over to YouTube right now, search it, hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, pimp smack that subscribe button, and hit that bell as we're getting out of here, put the kids to bed. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for all the love and support. We'll see you this week on the channel with a lot of content, and this weekend for WrestleMania. Peace.
Peace.